They said you were too emotional, too needy, too intense. But maybe, just maybe, they were never capable of depth. And you were never too much. They just didn't have room.
It's wild, Tyler, because when someone can't hold the space your soul takes up, they call your fullness a flaw. But the truth is, they never even stepped in far enough to see who you really are.
Have you ever felt like you had to shrink to stay? Like being fully yourself? The loud laugh, the deep feeling, the dreaming too big? Somehow became too much for them to handle.
That phrase alone. Too much? How many of us carry that scar without even realizing it? Too emotional, too soft, too clingy, too quiet, too passionate, too ambitious. But here's what the research says. Most people who have been told they're too much were simply around people who are emotionally unavailable, underdeveloped, or afraid of vulnerability.
It's not you, it's their lack of capacity. And here's the most heartbreaking part. When you hear something enough times, you start to believe it. So we learn to mute our laughter, to question our intuition, to apologize for being deeply alive. And we call that love.
Can I ask you something? When was the first time you were told you were too much? Was it in childhood, when your excitement made someone uncomfortable? Was it in your first relationship, when needing reassurance was labeled needy? Or maybe it was recent, when showing your heart made someone run. Wherever it started, that moment became a script. And today, we're going to rewrite it.
Because you're not too much. You're unfiltered truth. Your depth, your clarity. You're a presence that asks others to rise. And not everyone is ready to meet that.
In psychology, there's a term called projective identification. It means someone feels something internally, like inadequacy, fear, or discomfort. But instead of owning it, they make you carry it. So your depth becomes too much. Your feelings become dramatic. Your standards become demanding. But the truth is, you were just being real.
And this is how it starts. We begin to abandon parts of ourselves, just to stay close to people who never had the capacity to stay with us. Let me say that again. We abandon ourselves to avoid being abandoned by them.
Breathe with me. Take a deep inhale and ask yourself, what part of me did I shrink just to be loved by someone who didn't have room? Feel it. Let it rise. That's not a weakness. That's your awareness waking up.
Sometimes we confuse rejection with a reflection of our worth. But rejection isn't always about you. It's about their capacity, their readiness, their bandwidth to love on the level you require. And the truth is, some people love shallow because that's the only place they've ever known.
Exactly. And when you come in with ocean energy, they panic because they've only ever learned to breathe in puddles. So they call your depth too much. When in reality, you're just not made for shallow waters.
This is the part I need you to hold. You were never too much. They just never learned how to hold someone whole. And that's not your burden to carry.
Let's reclaim it now. Say this with me. I release the belief that I'm too much. I honor the parts of me I once abandoned to be accepted. I give myself permission to take up space, fully, fiercely, and freely. Again, breathe. Let that land.
We live in a world that glorifies low maintenance. That romanticizes people who ask for nothing. But silence isn't sexy. It's suppression. And being easy to love should never mean erasing your voice.
So here's your reminder. You're not intense. You're passionate. You're not clingy. You're connected. You're not needy. You're emotionally intelligent. Stop translating their inability to meet you as evidence that you're too much.
The right people won't be overwhelmed by your fullness. They'll exhale when they find it. Because your presence won't be too loud. It'll sound like home. And the space you take up won't be too big. It'll be exactly right.
So, if no one told you yet, you were never too much. You were just misread by someone with limited language for love. But now, you speak fluently in self-worth. Now, you choose people who celebrate your wholeness. Now, you don't shrink. You shine.
Next week, we explore something even deeper. The apology you'll never get and why you don't need it. Because healing doesn't wait for closure. It starts the moment you choose freedom. And the story you're writing? It's already more powerful than the ending you didn't get.